It's been quite a week, hasn't it? One way or another. Richard Tice is here. I think the last time I saw you was last Saturday, wasn't it?
That's right, it was indeed, yes. There's been quite a lot going on since then.
There has. I mean, you thought that was a bad day for England.
Well, it was a very bad day for England rugby, that is for sure.
God, I don't think it's going to get any better this weekend, either.
No, that's probably also true. But there's just so much going on, it's hard to know where to begin. But I think we should just... it's a bit grey outside, so maybe we'll travel across to Europe and see what's going on in the Netherlands. I'm rather excited by this because it shows the joy of democracy and of people power.
Yeah.
Because the Dutch government has been trying to impose for some time now some really, really restrictive, totalitarian restrictions on Dutch farmers, which of course is a massive part of their economy.
And there's been a lot of demos and a lot of
demos, and this is all part of their
conventions.
Sort of net zero nonsense. Yeah. That's what it is. And the Dutch farmers, quite rightly, have said, no, we're not doing this. And the people, the good people in the Netherlands, have said, we're not having it either.
Right.
So all of a sudden, the Dutch Farmers' Party has come from nowhere in the Dutch Parliament Senate elections to become the largest party.
Wow.
And that's really quite something. It's almost like a sort of a following of what happened in Italy with Giorgia Meloni, and this really is the people standing up and saying, no, we're not doing this stuff.
We're sick
of it. We've had enough. You lot, you globalists, you elitists, you net zero numpties, you're out of here. And so they're the biggest party, is how it looks. And I think it is really interesting.
And are they a sort of single issue party, or are they a bit broader than what it sounds like?
Look, let's see. But in a sense, they focused everybody's mind on the issue that actually they're a huge part of the economy and that this just doesn't make any sense.
Right.
And I think more and more people are seeing that.
Well, I see it more and more every day on social media, people that call the show here as well, of course, and you do too on your show on Sunday. People are fed up with the lack of choice between Keir Starmer and Rishi Sunak, you know, particularly when it comes to net zero. There is simply no choice. You have to go along with it or not.
Well, that's the issue with the main parties, and in a sense, it's another reason, I'll always bang on about it, but it's another advantage of proportional representation. It's much easier, actually, for other parties with other good ideas to put those forward to the electorate, and the electorate say, actually, do you know what? I agree with that.
Yeah.
And so I think it's a really significant moment.
Have you done, I don't know whether you have, a sort of study of where the electorate would be if there were proportional representation in this country? What would it look like in Parliament in terms of the 650 MPs?
Look, it's a moving feast on that, but there's no question. I hear it on the doorstep.
I mean, it wouldn't look that different at the moment, would it, for example?
You'd be surprised. I hear it on the doorstep where people say, well, I'm concerned about a wasted vote, and then we say, well, if you had proportional representation, they say, oh, definitely, because then every vote is equal.
Yeah,
so
no,
it's a
I
whole
get that,
different
but what
way.
I'm saying is depending
what
on
would it look like?
The shifting sands, you'd still end up with the two major parties being dominant, wouldn't you?
Well, but actually probably not, because many people would say, well, actually, my vote does matter and my vote does count if I vote for a smaller party here or a smaller party there.
Yeah.
And it's a...
I mean, my argument is
issue.
always against it. We won't get too bogged down in this, but my argument against it is always what happened in Scotland, because the reason that Nicola Sturgeon is going out of the job is because she ended up getting into coalition with the Green Party, who were ridiculously small, but in order to keep her sort of majority, she did that. And it's they're getting the blame for coming up with this nonsensical gender identity bill, and that's killed her off.
It's disappointing because it's only 10:10, and already, for the first time this show, you're wrong, because actually
it's absolutely outrageous.
Because, of course, in Scotland, they've got PR, and yet she had a very significant majority, or almost majority, as the largest party, which completely contradicts those who say you always end up with coalition politics with PR. And likewise in Wales, where the Labour Party is dominated.
There is actually a coalition, so I don't know what you're talking about.
But they're the largest party by a very significant... There is a small coalition.
A coalition's a coalition, isn't it? Doesn't matter how big it is.
But there's not a coalition in Wales, you see. They've been the largest party, Labour.
There was a coalition in Wales between this Plaid Cymru lot and Labour, wasn't there?
Labour's been the biggest party there and has dominated the Senate politics, which proves my point.
I don't think
we'll leave that there.
I don't think anybody can understand what your point is. But anyway...